Yes. So today we want to talk about the debate. Have you seen the debate between between son of Hamas and Chunk Yogurt?
That trumpet solo was Louis Armstrong, Skokian. Everyone could check it out later.
That was the most interesting thing I've heard in my entire life. Anyway, so
why would he put Mosab versus Chunk Yogurt? I mean, I don't even need to see it. I already know what it's going to be. What are you doing? What are you doing? They still got the leader. It should be over now. It should be over. Why would they? Unless it's about land. If it's not about land, it should be over because you killed all the leaders. The leaders are all done. They're all done, but they're still fighting. Why are they still fighting? This proves it's genocide. It's genocide. They're there for genocide. Let me tell you something. You have no clue what you're talking about. It's going to be like that, right?
Yes, it is. It is. It is.
How about you get on your knees?
Sorry, not that.
It is totally based.
It's going to be totally based.
You killed over 30,000 civilians while you're trying to get one terrorist, and Netanyahu's 30, 40 times the terrorist Sinwar is. By your logic.
Oh, God. I can't
even. You hear this?
I don't even want to get to
Yahya Sinwar,
he actually said Yahya.
Architect of October the 7th, has been killed.
He has been killed, and that is something to celebrate. And I know some people say, oh, we shouldn't celebrate death. Well, we're not. We're celebrating life by celebrating the death of a terrorist.
It is significant. The most significant assassination that I'm looking for is the assassination of Ayatollah, the head of the state.
He just instantly diverted to that.
That's amazing. He just immediately brought it up at the very beginning. This is funny. I was wondering how it got to that. And he just says it from the very beginning.
He just jumps right out to it. First question. Hey, was this significant? Yes, it was significant, but I'm still waiting for the assassination of the Ayatollah.
Look at Junk's face. Looks like he's constipated or something.
Mosab instantly dials it up to 10 with like what he's saying, like the message that he's actually conveying. When he's like, I would choose the cow, that's like he just dialed it up to 10. Whereas with Chunk Yogurt, he's not there's no point that he's dialing it up to 10. He just acts like it, right? Like, he dials it up to 10 with like how spastic he is and so on. So anyway,
and here they have no more targets left. All of Hamas leaders are dead. All of Hezbollah's leaders are dead. In fact,
no targets left. Look, there we got it. You got it. You're missing it. Your eyes are closed. Your eyes are closed, dude. What's wrong with you? You're missing this. You got like the biggest Mosab smile. Look what. Go back. You got to go back, man. He lit up like a Christmas tree, man.
It's the central question. And here they have no more targets left. All of Hamas leaders are dead. All of Hezbollah's leaders are dead. In fact, Israel just bragged that they killed the whole new set of leadership of Hezbollah.
There's your thumbnail.
So if all the leadership is dead.
Cenk's argument is, if someone does something and someone else was making him do it, then you should just go after the person who did it and not the person who made him do it.
And so the minute they move those settlers into Gaza, you'll know for sure that this had nothing to do with self-defense. All of it was an excuse to steal more Arab land.
None of it was.
Let's be absolutely clear about that. So in terms of Sinwar,
what a smug piece of filth, man.
The Palestinian world believe that Hamas and Hezbollah are not terrorists, but are essentially a form of freedom fighter. What do you say to that?
They're all terrorists.
Let me tell you, I was there.
They're all terrorists. Here is some idiot here saying, why did Jews invent porn? Fake Christian, retard, atheist. This guy's like, all day I'm watching porn, and who's to blame for that? It's the Jews.
The Jews, they tricked me into sitting around watching Yahya Sinwar smooch on this other guy and suck on his lips.
If it wasn't the Jews I would be going outside and doing something productive, but because of
the Jews make me live with my mother in my mother's basement for my whole life and whacking off watching porn. It's the Jews that made me do this. It's the Jews.
No response. All right, banned.
And what I say to the Palestinians, First of all, you need to prove your legitimacy before you try to delegitimize and the indigenous
Look at Cenk's
people of
face.
the land. Once you succeed of showing us who you are, then we may talk to you about a state. But to claim that you have the land, even though the indigenous of the land, the Jewish people, actually have been willing to share the land, and they were willing back in 1948 to share the.
What are you laughing about, you freaking imbecile?
They were not born Palestinians. Then they had been indoctrinated to hate. They have been indoctrinated to blame Israel. As Cenk right now, he.
That's, by the way, an interesting point to make as well. Until very recent times, the people in that place considered themselves Arab, not Palestinian. Palestinian was not an identity. The first people actually who happily identified themselves as Palestinians were not the Arabs. It was the Jews. Jews identified as Palestinians when the Arabs didn't. Let's look at names of Palestinian.
Wait, I'll be Cenk as you're explaining this stuff.
For example, in mandatory Palestine, there was like look right now. Look at this. I can show this to you directly. Look here.
To blame Israel. As Cenk right now, he has been blaming Israel since the beginning of the war, but now he sees the defeat of Hamas. So now he's changing his tone a little bit, his attitude. And I like his cleverity. He's a very clever Palestinian. He's the perfect example of a Palestinian, by the way. Cenk, just right there. Because Palestinian is not limited to Gaza. Palestinian is a syndrome. It's a mental illness. It's a universal.
It's not a nationality. It is a mental illness.
He just says whatever he wants, man.
Oh boy!
And by the way, Cenk, just right there, because Palestinian is not full of a Palestinian. By the way, Cenk, just right there, because Palestinian is not limited to Gaza. Palestinian is a syndrome. It's a mental illness. It's a universal phenomenon. And Cenk is the perfect example. And if he gets hungry eventually, I will not be surprised that he will eat his own children.
Okay.
What?
He will eat his own children if he hasn't already.
I have to hear this again. I have to hear this whole thing again here.
We don't need to see anymore. Just watch that like 20 times in a row.
Changing his tone a little bit, his attitude. And I like his cleverity. He's a very clever Palestinian. He's the perfect example of a Palestinian, by the way. Cenk, just right there. Because Palestinian is not limited to Gaza. Palestinian is a syndrome. It's a mental illness. It's a universal phenomenon. And Cenk is the perfect example. And if he gets hungry eventually, I will not be surprised that he will eat his own children.